Veronica, first I want to welcome you back to Emerson College. So I'm Dave Gerzoff. It's nice to meet you finally, and welcome to Emerson Social Media.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm a super proud alum. I love Emerson, and I hope to come back to visit sometime because it's just a great place to go to school.
Do you feel that you're a reporter, journalist, a social media practitioner? How do you think of yourself in the terms of the work that you do?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out for myself for a while now. When I was at CNET, I considered myself a tech journalist. And now it's more like I guess you would call it a tech personality, I guess, or a pundit. It's hard to explain, Mary. I guess tech writer and video host is usually what I tell people.
And in terms of Emerson preparing you for this life after Emerson, can you talk a little bit about that in terms of how Emerson kind of set you up to be able to fill the shoes that you're now standing in?
Definitely from a technical side, I really felt prepared going into the workforce with what I learned at Emerson. You know, I missed those long 16-hour days sitting in the audio suite, editing nonstop. That definitely prepared me for being, you know, cloistered in the CNET audio studio and editing for hours on end.
In terms of technology and social media, it tends to be, at least to this point, a little bit more of a male-dominated industry. What's your advice to the students that are in this class that might be interested in breaking into tech media?
You know, it's as long as you're doing what you love, there's not really any big secret to it. I think a lot of girls have been intimidated in the past by getting into IT and getting involved in technology in general, and especially the journalism side of things, because it is so male-dominated. But I've really seen that starting to change recently in the past couple of years. There's a lot of women doing technology video blogging. There's tons of bloggers, and Gadget has several women working for them. And so the landscape is definitely changing and evening out a little bit. Yeah, it's still going to be male-dominated probably for a while, but there is definitely a bit of a seismic shift happening. It's always about doing what you're most passionate about. I mean, anyone who listens to Gary Vee talk for 5 minutes from Wine Library TV knows that if you have a passion, it's something that you want to do with your life, you just have to take it to that next level and keep working at it. For people trying to get into the technology industry, and especially blogging or journalism, I always say start with your own personal site. You know, start just writing about things that you find online that are really interesting. Have that backlog of content that you can point people to when you're looking for a job and trying to find something, because then they can say that you've been working on your own site for the past year and a half, and that you know how to write and you're, you know, excited about the content. That's kind of my #1 tip that I give to people is if you really love it, you should be doing it already.
Do you look at do you still experiment with social media when these platforms come out, or you know, how do you look at this from your perspective? I mean, obviously there's potentially a story there for you, but in terms of just, you know, your use of social media, maybe you could talk a little bit more about that.
I try to give most things a chance the first time around, because you really never know what's going to pick up and what's going to be useful. And sometimes it takes several uses before you start seeing the value in a new product. For example, when Google Buzz came out, I felt as though it was kind of redundant compared to a lot of things I was already using, like Twitter and FriendFeed. Mm-hmm. But then the more I started using it, the more I enjoyed it and noticed that it works in different ways than a lot of the other services that I use. So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff that comes out all the time, and a lot of stuff that at first I'm like, is that gonna be cool? Am I gonna use that? Why should I bother wasting my time using this? And then, you know, 4 or 5 times in, I'm like, yeah, I can see myself using this. If not every day, then at least once or twice a week.
So do you almost look at new social media platforms when they come out and you start playing with them almost like a new video game?
Yeah, you could say that. I'm very point driven too. So any social media site that comes out that revolves around points, I'm instantly attracted to in a different way from other sites, like Foursquare and what else? Yeah, Foursquare, for example, has really grabbed me. I'm kind of addicted. I don't even really know why.